one. Yeah. Hey, there we go.
Fabulous. Excellent. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of our mini bite-sized webinars. Hope you've all had a good week and looking forward to a rather hot and sticky weekend. You can see we've got the usual faces. Carl, you're frowning. Why are you frowning?
I was messing with the settings while you were talking, sorry.
We have Carl, we have Will, and we are absolutely thrilled to be joined with Colin Pocock, a colleague of ours. He has a dental practice in Birmingham. Colin, I'll let you talk about it more in a moment. Tonight, we're going to go over our past week's events, see the highs and the lows. And I do believe we might have somebody on the panel that might want to have a little whinge, we've been told. So I'm going to firstly pass you over in good hands to Will Murphy.
Hello, am I doing my week
yes,
summary?
Please, Will. Yes, yeah. Please.
Good. Well, actually, pretty good. Working this week. Lots of implant stuff to do. Am I coming through?
A little bit. You're breaking up a little bit, but it's okay.
However, the big whinge is that I come home and my house has been overtaken by 18-year-olds who I think have just started drinking at about, by the looks of them, started drinking at about 2:00 this afternoon. And so this is why I'm sitting on my bed now, because I've been kind of banished, because now they've moved from drinking themselves stupid in the garden to taking over the living room to play FIFA. So, you know,
fantastic.
You know what the pecking order is, don't you? Yeah, that's the pecking order in my house, you know.
Very good.
That's why, you know, just all the things I've done for that boy, you know, over the years. Driving lessons. Not only does he try and kill me with driving lessons, but, you know.
Is he still celebrating his 18th then?
I think it's still, I think it's still 18th birthday month. So, you know.
Well, you've only got one day left.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll all quieten down tomorrow.
Well, I'm thinking anyway, if we get your address, Will, we'll all come and join him.
You might as well. Let's really upset the neighbours. Good and proper. You know.
Oh my goodness.
The good news is that tomorrow, and I'm a bit worried now with him in the house, is that we're going off to Mumbles for a couple of days to go and see the sea. Yeah,
fantastic.
That'd be wonderful.
Well done, Will.
Yeah,
take the sun with you.
But it is Wales, so I know nothing's going to be open because they don't open dental practices or pubs or restaurants, do they? So,
Will, I've got good news. The pubs opened last Monday in Wales.
Yay!
I've got better news. Well, it depends how you look at it, but you don't have to wear a mask.
No.
Don't you?
Not
it's
in Wales.
You know what? It's bizarre. It's kind of. So we've been talking a little bit, Colin, just to bring you up to date. The fallow time in Wales for a non-AGP is 15 minutes.
Right.
And then an hour if you're doing an AGP. But if you go to the shops, you don't have to wear a mask.
So, crazy.
So it's kind of like
splatter to your
you evil dentists. You evil dentists.
Yeah, the dentists are the bad guys.
You lovely shopkeeper. You lovely shopkeeper.
Yeah.
You're very clean shop. We're live, aren't we? I've just realised that.
We are live. Yes, we are. Yes, Will, you can have a pint. I do believe that it's outdoor serving, but I'm sure with the sun on your back, that'll suit you fine.
That sounds lovely.
So you say, what's your week been like, Will? You broke up a bit.
Yeah, good. Yeah, really busy. Plenty of implants this week. It's good. On top of putting lots of people back together and taking lots of awkward teeth out and bits and pieces. You know, generally still cleaning up the mess of the last 3 months. So good. Busy. So it's kind of, I'm going to work till about 2:00 tomorrow, and then
does that mean 12
hit the M5? Really? 12 o'clock. Yeah. Nobody phone up at 12 o'clock with pain. Okay. If you get a phone with pain, do it at 8 o'clock in the morning.
There's another colleague that you sent implants to that might help you out, Will.
Yes.
Well, yeah, there might be
Just
some space. You never know.
Put a little reminder on my phone. Phone Will's practice with
Oh.
a made-up name. 11:55.
Urgent.
Oh, film a
5 to 2.
cavity at 2:30.
Fantastic. Carl, I mean, I know how our week's been going, but are you going to share any news that we learnt in Wales yesterday? Because I need to see Will's face.
Which part? The part where you don't have to wear a mask? The part
Oh,
where
no.
AGP is 15 minutes?
Oh,
The part that sorry?
fallow time.
Fallow time of 15 minutes in between patients when you're not doing anything other than going hello. And
That is mega, isn't it? Absolutely mega.
yeah.
I mean,
And well, it's not just that. We were told there were new SOPs coming out. That's what you mean, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
There were new SOPs coming out. So
You like your SOPs, don't you, Carl?
oh, I love them. And this hope it's not true, but the new guidance, the manager, bless him, came in. Well, we're going to have some new SOPs coming out. They're revised, they're updated. So I'm thinking, brilliant. Fallow time's going to drop down. Bit of not common sense, but a bit of sense coming into all this non-evidence based. And I said, yeah, what you're going to? It's the same. Is what my response. It's going to be the same. And he went, no, they're extending it by 15 minutes.
no.
It's that I can't repeat what my words were.
So
But
I can
75
imagine
minutes.
right now.
yeah. But so that, and then the other little odd one was we did quite a big case, and there wasn't any dexamethasone available, which we then gave a script out to the patient, who then came back and said that dentists are blacklisted for prescribing dexamethasone. So she might be a little bit swollen and bruised because that cheap drug that is widely available isn't available for us to prescribe. Which you think, really? Are you gonna have that much need for dexamethasone? I mean, it's only for patients that are COVID positive and on ventilators, probably. That it's any useful. I think it's a made-up thing when they haven't got any in stock.
Could be.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's nothing. I've never heard of that.
I've never heard of it either.
Yeah, and I don't understand.
We usually buy a pot of it and then dish it out.
Yeah, you take one in the morning as start of the day, makes you feel better. So everybody, the whole practice, it's like a little popper.
Yeah,
Pick me up.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's
Within
like
that
Sweetex or
good for
within
morale.
that hour and 15 minutes fallow time, perhaps we could look at producing it ourselves. With that time, making use of the time.
We'll have a little
Delivered in that
dexamethasone
time.
lab upstairs.
Yeah. An hour
Got to kill that
15.
time somehow. Yeah, an hour and 15.
Right.
Well, hour and 15.
Well,
who came up with that one?
I've got the chemist, whoever the boots. But it's simple to fix. I mean, what we did is we got some dextrose and we got some methadone, and we mixed them together and we said, try that.
Sounds the same.
You've got some good patients there to find that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
they're all probably pretty chilled.
But it's a new. I just thought it was bizarre. I mean, it's so widely available and it's such a cheap drug, and it's only for patients that are in respiratory distress, so they've got to be hospitalized. So it's not like there's a shortage of it. So you just kind of think, really, you're going to let this poor lady suffer in potential pain, swelling, and discomfort just because you want to hold on to your dexamethasone tablets? So we're doing our best to get it sorted out, but fingers crossed you'll be okay. But that's not what you meant, was it, Kate? It was the extra 15 minutes of fallow time. So those little aerosols need those extra 15 minutes just to settle down onto the floor rather than infect everybody with that clean
Well,
water that we
Wales,
use.
isn't it? That's why it happens.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah. It's crazy over there.
So where's that time come from?
Canada. So I think Canada's got 180 minutes for AGPs. So as the evidence was flowing over to the UK, they lost a little bit, and it dropped down to 95 minutes. So,
wow. I thought it only takes 7 minutes, doesn't it? The BDA said it takes 7 minutes. We've just got to prove it.
Yeah.
So,
and 7 minutes is a push, if I'm honest. So yeah, it's overkill. It's well, that's probably the wrong word to use, isn't it? It's not the right word to use in the slightest. It's not evidence based.
Yes.
It's probably a better word to use, and it's unnecessary. That's probably an even better word to use. Overkill.
I think they're just getting competitive. I think they're just like, well, if you're doing 60, we're doing 75.
Yeah, wait until Scotland revise theirs, and then Northern Ireland will pop one over on that one. And
say,
yeah,
3.5 hours.
You went to nothing yet.
24
hours
per day.
Yeah, exactly that. You're allowed one a day if you're lucky.
Yeah,
if you're lucky. Yeah, and God forbid if the patient coughs.
Yeah. Oh no, we've had it. We've got to close down the practice.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I know that one of our days this week was spent in a lovely practice, Colin Pocock's, and full of consults, which was nice to see. Colin and I just had a little chat off air earlier, so it's nice to see the patients coming in for their consults, etc. Some of the routine stuff.
Seeing a lot. I mean, Will and I, Colin, we talked about this last week, and we're seeing a lot of consults coming through, and whether this is a consequence of not having any sort of additional care, such as endodontic treatment and other things, and teeth being extracted. But yeah, certainly seeing certainly more than pre-lockdown of patients coming in and booking in for the consults.
I would say our place is about 100% more kind of like the throughput of patients requesting that kind of treatment.
Yeah, it's great. Keep it up.
Yeah.
It's
wonderful.
Yeah.
And on that day when you did the consults at the practice, you pleased my unpleasable patient. I can't possibly even say her name, but there was one person that you saw that was unpleasable, and she came out and she said, "I like him," and that was it. And I was like, "Wow." The difficult conversation we had in the past. I don't know if you had the dexamethasone out or the methadone or something like that, but they were impressed. So well done.
Fabulous.
It's all in the beard.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah.
In the Velcro.
Yeah. Well, it was covered by the mask. But that's really nice to hear. I'm really pleased about that. Thank you.
Definitely. No problem.
Thank you.
Really good.
Made my day.
Fantastic. Colin, what about your week? So give us an insight. I mean, I've mentioned to Cole before just how impressed I was with the organisation when you guys started back some weeks ago now. I mean, you were straight on it. Everything was very clear. You communicated to all your team and patients. I mean, a big well done to you. So how has it been? How's your return to work been for Liberty Place?
Well, I think the biggest thing has been keeping the team on board. That has been the most kind of difficult aspect of it altogether, really, because obviously you've had some of them at home, then some come back, and then you get them on board and they're happy doing the new way of working, and then you get somebody else comes back and goes, "I'm not happy with all this." Then you've got to almost go over everything again to bring them on board. We've just got one more furloughed member of staff coming back on Saturday, and then we should be there.
Well done.
I've been doing bribery this week. It was Haribo's at the beginning of the week. It's Krispy Kremes today. Just to kind of coax them into the fact that this is all right and we're actually doing it.
Yeah, well done. So, they've embraced it though, Colin, your team.
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah. We had to kind of like tweak our SOP because there were some bits that some of the team weren't overly happy with, or we needed to clarify. But yeah, I'm fit tester in chief. That's my job. So I get messages going, I don't like those masks. Can I be fit tested again on these? And people some order their own and go, I want to be in this one. So then you have to go over it again. So I've just been fit testing like Wano, basically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, Kate, go on.
No, you carry on. No, you.
I was going to say, I mean, you had one member of staff that sort of wasn't sort of passing any of the fit tests. Did you manage to find a mask that fitted, or I know we talked about that.
There's a slight kind of subjectivity to the whole subject of fit testing that I think you have to be kind of willing for it to work as well. And that person found some masks that they liked in the catalogue, got those in, and everything's worked perfectly. So they're happy. Yeah. We're happy.
Brilliant.
It's all good. So I think we've got the whole lot through now. We've just got this new members, or this furloughed member of staff coming back on Saturday. So we'll get that done as well. And I might be able to hang up my bizarre-looking hood for a while and have a disgusting tasting solution and get back. It is disgusting. Yeah,
it is disgusting.
Yeah, bless you. And the patients, Colin, I mean, they've been okay with you. I mean, as I said, you've communicated fantastically with them, but it's good reaction from them.
I think we've kind of got the kind of the 99.99% kind of they're happy and delighted. You obviously get grumbles, don't you? And some people have saved up their grumbles through lockdown, and then they've seen you and gone, whoa. So we've had a couple of those to deal with, but overall everybody's been happy and glad to see us as well. Genuinely, we are friends, but they've treated us like a friend and said it's so good to see you back.
Yeah, which is nice. I think half the battle with the video that we saw that you sent out, I thought that was fantastic because yes, it's slightly different for them to come in, but it is still Liberty Place. It's still the same staff. It's just going to look a little bit different. So for them to have an insight of what it's going to look like before they come in, I think that just reassures them and calms them down as well.
Definitely. And I think I need to do another video now on how to put the mask on, because they all have the bit of wire underneath their chin and then going, oh, it doesn't seal very well up here. And I don't know, various different kind of methods of sticking it on, tying it behind the head and all sorts. I need to do a simple video. It's this way round and you just stick it over here like that. It's probably take me about 10 seconds to do the video, but it might save hours at the front desk.
I think you could be right.
Probably right.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a few in today that so there's one lady, lovely lady that I was chatting to, and she makes masks. So she's an ex-nurse, and fascinating conversation. So she's been all pretty much across the world doing various healthcare jobs, and she was telling me about, I can't remember which country, it's Tanzania, where they had a measles outbreak, a really serious measles outbreak, and how they were during that sort of epidemic compared to how we're reacting over here, and the PPE that they wore, which existed of less than less than these headphones, and the survivability because of the way that they acted, which was quite impressive, very interesting to listen to. And she's been doing that for over 40 years or so. So, wow. I always ask and say, is there anything that you're a little bit uncomfortable about when they walk in regarding the PPE, and you're comfy with everything that we're doing, just to make sure that they're feeling a bit relaxed and they kind of understand that we're doing this for a reason. If they've got any questions, like, can I take my mask off? Are you going to keep yours on and all that? And she was great. And then I had a GP, and a retired GP, who was really, really quite good fun. And her comment was, well, anybody that works at Public Health England are basically just doctors that just didn't know how to do it. So they couldn't hack it in practice. So they went to work for Public Health England, and they just make up all these things. I had to kind of calm her down a little. I thought, well, I like ranting, but you've taken it to a different level. But sorry, Will, you're back.
But grab a can with your son.
I'm bouncing it off my phone. I thought for a minute you were playing that game, where everybody goes still.
Eject him. Think. Yeah.
Let you know.
Hello. Anyway, carry on ranting, Carl. It's all right. Go on.
Well, what Colin was talking about was he was talking about the practice, and they like yourself, they've done little videos for the patients, but how the patients can't carry on ranting, can't struggle sometimes to get the masks on properly. And there's one guy I was listening to a story where today, and there's a guy that's only got one ear. So he's going to struggle. Yeah, it's going to struggle a little bit.
So we've got the Thai one to go all the way around at the front desk for situation. I'd never even thought of one ear, but for situations just like that. So
it's the sort of question the CQC will ask you, when they come round, they'll be like, what if your patient's got one ear?
Yeah, or no ears.
Oh,
and that probably should be in our risk assessment as well, actually.
Paperclip.
Or 3 ears.
I'd never even thought about it.
Should be in your risk assessment. Well, Colin, you've only got one ear.
Oh, well, yeah, true. There is another one underneath as well.
Oh, yeah.
The best one I saw was on yesterday. And the chap had put it on and it was over his eyes and nose. And I said, you've just got to pull it down just a little bit. And I thought, because it's not going to get anywhere. We're not going to be able to make any progress through into the room if we stay like that.
But you could at least access.
Yeah, you could do, actually, yeah.
So you can't see what's going on. You can't smell what's going on, but he knows that you're going to be fine. Do you know, I never thought about that. Maybe that's what we need to do. So don't take your mask off. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit higher. And then I'll do what I need to do. And then just no, we're live again, aren't we? I know sometimes. Sorry.
I always put it underneath their chin, but who knows? I did hear that in.
Go on, Will.
I was just going to say, Carl's being helpful and informative again, isn't he? By suggesting stupid ways to wear a mask. Everybody tune in.
It's here all night.
Hot topic. Anyway, sorry, carry on. I digress.
A patient did tell me that in South Korea, I think it is, that they do place a paper bag over your head when they're doing dentistry, which just has a little opening for the mouth, and that you have the whole procedure completed, like 2 hours of root canal or whatever, with the paper bag over your head.
Well, thank the Lord you said the patient. I thought you meant the clinician.
Oh,
blimey.
There's a road I don't want to go down.
I know.
Will save us.
I was thinking what you were thinking. Yeah, we can't tell those jokes anymore. So back onto dentistry.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't even know what you're talking about, so it's over the top of my head.
I'll tell you when I see you.
Okay.
I'll tell you off there. Well, I might not. Will I tell you?
No.
And I'm certainly
My glasses are steaming up now. Getting stressed. Anyway, teeth.
Absolutely, back to teeth. So we've touched upon last week only marginally about the possibility of a second wave hitting us. I mean, we're a week on. Today on the radio, I certainly didn't hear about the second wave, but they're talking about closing down remotely places like they've done with Leicester. So they're saying they're going to do that with more places. What do you guys think of that?
They should have done that a long time ago with Leicester. Okay.
Right. Now we are talking about the coronavirus here, yeah?
My wife's from Leicester, so I can probably get away with that.
You're allowed.
Probably allowed. That's probably allowed.
Do you know what? I could talk quite strongly on that, so I will shut up and let somebody else say something.
Straight up to Will Murphy then.
Well, I think it's a possibility. It sounds like it's all going to be localized shutdowns and maybe smaller areas. If they can home into where the outbreaks have come from and shut those places down and do proper testing and proper tracing, then there shouldn't be any need, really, should there, for mass shutting down. I think I said before, I can't see dentistry shutting down again. I think at last, people probably acknowledging now we are one of the safest environments that you can actually have, despite our close proximity to patients. So I think, for me anyway, I can see that as being highly unlikely. Plus, we are a noisy bunch as a profession, and we don't like being locked down, and we don't half kick up a stink. So, I think it's unlikely that dentistry will close down. I don't know what the other guys think.
Definitely. Well, I think if they get the testing kind of really honed down, then surely you just make the person who's got it stay at home, and that is the lockdown. That's all you need to do, isn't it? Get those people who've got it to stay at home, and then everybody else can just crack on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too simple,
I mean,
know.
Well, but it could be effective. The track and trace is interesting. So at the moment, the guidance is now 10 days because that's gone up. So that was released, I think, yesterday. But the people are, well, obviously I know somebody that tracks and traces, and their guidance is still 7 days because officially they haven't been told that it's 10 days. So the people that are doing the tracking and the tracing, that are advising people that they've got to go into isolation for 10 days, are saying, well, it's 7 days because they haven't officially been told that it's 10 days. And this is the kind of the farcical, crazy things we live in. But the localized thing, I think that localized is probably the right way to go, sort of pass it down. But what you've got to be careful of is that you don't sort of say, well, there you go, we'll hand it over. You decide what you're going to think is a lockdown procedure. They need to give guidance, good, clear guidance that the local authorities can then use as a standard to go into lockdown. So if they say, well, well, what's the R number? I don't even know what that means. Well, let's just lock down anyway because we had a case. And I think they've got to be careful not to sort of pass that power down and away from themselves, which I can understand why they're doing that. So it makes sense to do it, but got to do it in the right way, which I think is not going to happen. So yeah, it's the right thing to do. But hopefully it'll be sort of small little isolated areas and it'll all be handled really well. I mean, again, it relies on faith, human faith, because you can't enforce some of these people to go into lockdown. And if they've booked holidays or if they are back at work and they can't afford not to go back to work and they think, well, do you know what? I'm just going to carry on. Then you got to hope that they do go, well, actually, I'm a bit worried about infecting other people, so I am going to stay at lockdown despite the fact that I might lose out on a couple of weeks' money or whatever it is. So I think that you got to hope that, and have some faith in humanity.
Well, there's a cultural thing as well in this country, say compared with somewhere like South Korea, where they did all their track and trace thing very, very quickly. And I think the cultural thing is about use of privacy and data, isn't it? Where I think there seems to be an acceptance over there that your data is out there and it's going to be used for the greater good. And so let's say your tracing app on your phone will ping or whatever and tell you've been in contact with people, and people are very much accepting of that. But I just wonder culturally in this country, where not sure if we're a little bit more iffy on our sharing of data and privacy and all that sort of stuff. How effective is it going to be? Now, I don't know the answer clearly, but there's a lot of chat about do I want my phone switched on? Do I want my data? Do I want to be restricted? And so on and so forth. Discuss.
Yeah.
You want the answer now, Carl?
Yeah, well, I think you're right. I think there is a big cultural difference. Certainly, I've had fortunate enough to travel to Japan, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but they do have an outlook where you look out for the group rather than the individual. So what I didn't appreciate was that goes when you're crossing a road as well. So in Tokyo, I kind of jaywalked. and everybody followed me en masse. Thankfully, there was no traffic, but it wasn't something I'd appreciated until I kind of, well, what you're all waiting for? They're waiting for the lights to change to say that you were allowed to walk across the road. Just usual as I do here, strolled across the road and turned around, and en masse, everybody had assumed that I checked and looked to make sure that it was safe to go. I realised I then had the power.
You are a leader.
Yeah, and it's a very different kind of thought process where you actually sort of do look out for everybody else around you, and you are. I'm not saying that we're not thoughtful and we're not thoughtful of others, but there's a much larger community kind of spirit until you get on the tube. And then it's everybody for themselves. It's once you're on the underground, it's different.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
there's always that kind of independent kind of spirit in the UK, and where I always think around September time, you've got the newly arrived students and they're waiting for the green man. There could be not a car between here and 10 miles radius, but they're going to wait for the green man. Whereas I'm halfway home already. And then they gradually kind of like when you get to October, December, then they're doing the jaywalking, and they're perfectly happy with the British way of crossing the road, which is just to walk out.
We've got them. We've converted them.
Drawn them into our way of doing things.
Yeah. I heard some terrible news that bikes are in short supply, Will. Yes. Apparently we've gone mad for bicycles.
Yeah, well, I know. I was looking for sort of various bits and pieces for bikes over lockdown, and I was going to invest in one of these smart trainers that you can actually hook your bike up to, and it projects onto a screen, all that sort of stuff. And literally all sold out.
Yeah, we were told I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we were looking for a bike for one of the kids, and we were told there was going to be at least a 6-week wait. So everyone's gone exercise crazy.
I'll build you one out of wooden pram wheels.
Well, it's good that there are some boom industries.
Yeah,
there's got to be some winners from this.
Yeah.
Well, definitely.
Yeah, bikes and deliveries.
Very much.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the delivery companies is sort of taking on 10,000 new workers.
Do you know what though? What I thought was what kind of got me was that only 35% of the sales was e-commerce. I thought it'd be huge. So during lockdown, it's made 35% of the sales that happened over lockdown were e-commerce. I thought it'd be much larger than that. I thought it'd be up to like about 60, 65, but the figures are showing that only 35% of people were doing their shopping online.
Oh, is it general, not just bikes?
This is sorry, Colin. Yeah, I've gone off. General sales. Yeah, which makes me really pleased that I didn't invest in that e-commerce company that I was going to stick that nice load of money the bank gave me.
Your bounce back loan.
Yeah, bounce back loan. Yeah. I hope you're not. Bank of Scotland, I hope you're not listening. I have invested in the implant company, honestly. So where are we going on holiday again? Barbados. Yeah.
To buy that villa.
Yeah.
Are you coming with us?
Yeah.
Just imagine that. Right, gentlemen. We're hitting the 35-minute marker.
What already?
I know. These bite-sized webinars are going to have bite-size taken out of the title, I think. Is there anything pressing that you guys would like to discuss further, or are we going to wrap it up until next week?
I would hope that Will has a less. He's gone.
He's gone already.
Bam! I'm off.
We don't normally leave the webinar like that, Colin, let me tell you. We'll wait for him to come back before we do a proper goodbye.
I was going to say, I hope it's a little less eventful than Kelly's sort of evening that she had last week with her friends, who one has her ankle strapped up due to a fall, and the other one didn't get her stomach pumped, but probably wasn't far off it. You know what these ladies are like of a certain age. But yeah. But yeah, I was going to say, I hope you have a good time. But no, nothing else. Nothing apart from the impending increase in the fallow time. Hopefully not.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Well,
I don't think we're going to get that.
The next time we speak to him, it could have gone up.
Yeah.
We could have drove to Colin's practice, had a cup of tea with him, and then drove back in this fallow time.
And some Haribo and Krispy Kremes.
Now you're talking.
With a very happy team. I know. I think we need to think of what to feed them next.
I'm sure they'd have plenty of suggestions.
As long as they don't become all diabetics.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm coming for the Krispy Kremes.
Oh, I'm going for the Haribo every time.
There we go. Then it's all ran to our place then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know what? I've never had a Krispy Kreme, but I just think that's because I'm not really sort of.
I don't think they're any good for you, really.
Possibly not.
Probably not.
The quantity.
Right. I think they're made from industrial fats. I don't think it's digestible. I think it goes in and stops. I think it's entirely man-made. There's nothing natural about it whatsoever.
So you become a Simpson, like Homer. He likes his donuts.
Maybe.
Eat too many.
But makes people happy.
There are some things that are irresistible. I think Krispy Kremes are irresistible. And the other thing is, it was Seb's birthday on Monday, and we got some helium to blow his balloons up with, and it's breathing in the helium and talking in that silly voice.
Brilliant.
Is another thing that I know that it's not supposed to be very good for you, the gas that they use for the helium balloons, but
not hurt your throat after a while.
No, it's just absolutely fine.
You sound normal.
I think that's the answer. I think you've given me like inspiration now. I think if we get any kind of obviously patients love us, but if we get a disgruntled one, I'll say, "Here, do you want some helium?" And then everything will be great. We can all have a laugh. We can just park the problem, and we can just go. That's it.
He's coming back. Shh. Are you back? Maybe.
No.
Maybe not.
No. Oh. Yes. Yeah. It could be.
You're a tease, Will Murphy.
Who knows?
I'm trying to.
Oh, I heard something. There he is.
Hey,
yeah.
I tell you what, Will, that was a hell of an exit.
Yeah.
Bye. And goodbye.
Boom.
Rather abrupt, but hey, never mind.
It's like a mic drop moment that was, Will. Goodbye.
I'm gone. Bye. We said 2:00 tomorrow, mate.
Well, now you have joined us, Will. We wanted to wait so that we could say a proper goodbye. So I hope everybody out there has a lovely weekend. Wear your sun factor and all that. We'll have a fantastic time away. Colin, thank you so much for joining us this evening. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers, Colin.
Yeah, cheers,
thank
Colin.
you.
Carl, thanks for turning up.
Hey, Will, talk to Colin about the cat sun cream to put just below the ears here.
We need some of that.
Look, he's got a really nice head of hair, you know. It's just like, look, this thing, you need sunglasses to even look at it when you're out.
On that note, gentlemen, I hope you all have a lovely weekend and see you next week.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
All.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.